Yeah, welcome everyone. My name is Bart. I am a satellite systems engineer at EnduroSat, and I rolled into EnduroSat via an internship. And I will tell you a bit how I got here and about my experience at EnduroSat, both during the internship and now that I work here full time. But before I do that, let me first give you a brief introduction to EnduroSat itself, just a couple of sentences. EnduroSat is a company that was founded in 2015, I believe, 2015, a couple of years ago. And they were mainly making satellite modules back then. So all the components that the satellites would consist of, they were making. So these are radios, these are power systems, these are onboard computers. So all these systems that are necessary in order to make a satellite function. So that means that we also have a lot of engineering disciplines working in the company. Think about hardware, think about the software, about the structural aspect of engineering, and the radio frequency, of course, not to forget, in order to communicate with satellites. And then slowly but gradually, we transitioned into building full satellites. So that is also our main business right now. We are over 130 people. We're headquartered in Sofia, as many of you may know, but we also have offices in Italy, France, and Germany. We provide currently CubeSats, which are the smallest type of satellites, you can say. They're like, you can imagine 10 by 10 by 10 centimeters, 2 kilogram class satellites, all the way up to 100 kilogram class satellites. So these are the so-called microsatellites. And because we provide such wide range, we also have a great variety and types of clients that we have. So this ranges from universities to governments and, of course, other private companies. So that's a bit about EnduroSat. Now a bit about myself. So I'm born in the Netherlands, born and raised in the Netherlands. I studied there at the Delft University of Technologies. I did both my bachelor's and master's in aerospace engineering with have a heavy focus on space engineering. And back then, as many of you right now, I was looking for an internship, and I wanted to do this in the space sector because this is where my passion lies. This is where my main interest is. And I wanted to get some confirmation that this is indeed a career path that I wanted to take. So I applied to several companies, and EnduroSat was one of them, and they replied very quickly to me. Actually, the whole application process went very quickly. It wasn't too thorough. We had a simple interview, an exam just to test I was capable of doing the internship work that was expected from me. And because they were replying so quickly and they were very involved, and it was a sort of informal application process, it made the step very easy to come here. Because I mean, if I'm completely honest, I didn't know if I wanted to take the step to come all the way to Bulgaria, but because they EnduroSat radiated a very nice and good vibe to me, that I had no doubt that this was a very cool company to work at, and especially to do my internship. I reckoned I could learn a lot, and that's exactly what I wanted. So then I was looking when the internship approached. It was back in 2020, actually. I was looking for accommodation, where to stay, and EnduroSat helped me a lot with it. Actually, they arranged it basically because one of the colleagues offered that he had a 2-bedroom apartment, and he offered for me to stay in one of the bedrooms. So that was already the first indication of the friendliness and the supportiveness of the employees at EnduroSat. So that made it very easy for me to just come there and to have an immediate location to stay. And actually, that colleague was even more supportive because he also offered me the way of transport to go to the office. The office back then was located in the city center, so it's super easily reachable. But because I'm from the Netherlands, I like to cycle a lot. He offered me, because he had 2 bikes, he offered me one of these bikes that I could use during the internship. And yeah, I appreciated that a lot. And I must say, biking in Sofia is not as safe as in the Netherlands, of course, but actually it's getting a bit more popular here as well. And actually there are quite some bike lanes right now. EnduroSat has moved from the city center to, it's a bit further from the center. It's like but only a 10-minute tram ride. And there's a bike lane going from the city center all the way to the office right now. So it's very convenient, for me at least. So yeah, now that the accommodation and transportation and everything was accomplished, I could start my internship. And I noticed there that I had a lot of freedom in the way I wanted to approach this. So the task that I got was distributed in several milestones, which were sort of meant as the stepping stones to get to my final deliverable. So that meant that I still had the freedom to use the approach that works best for me, but there's still the guidance that I needed, because as an intern you don't necessarily know how to solve everything and how to do everything. These milestones helped me along the way to get where I had to be. So that was something that I really liked. Of course, this doesn't work for everyone, to have the enough freedom to do what you want, but for me at least that was very helpful. And the second thing that I enjoyed a lot and appreciated as well is that my supervisor passed by every day just to check on me. First of all, we were sitting next to the other colleagues, so not that the engineers and the interns were split. We all were sitting in the same room, so everyone was very easily approachable. But still, my supervisor, who is actually currently the CTO of the company, he passed by every day just to check on me, to ensure things go smoothly, to make sure I can ask any questions that I want, because of course he's a very busy person, and that he still made the time for all the interns there really also gave me a good feeling about the company back then. And the last thing, in terms of the technical aspect of the internship, is that the internships at EnduroSat have a direct impact on the company. Because what I was doing back then, without going into too much technical details, but what I was doing back then is I was building a simulation tool of the satellite in orbit. So I simulated the attitude dynamics, orbital dynamics. And this tool was used back then just to simulate the satellite in orbit, to simulate its behavior. And it's still widely used in the company right now. I'm still building up on it, and that is actually a very I'm very grateful that back then I had a big impact. I wouldn't say too big, but still a big impact on the company. And right now we have interns who actually have way more impact. They're in the hardware department right now. There are internships where you are actually directly make a whole payload interface board. So for instance, when a customer wants to fly a camera, you are making sure that all the wires, all the PCBs are designed in the way that the customer wants it, and in the way that the payload, so the camera in this case, could talk to all the other modules in the satellite. And I mean, doing this at such a young age and early in our careers is something that is very cool about EnduroSat, in my opinion. Yeah, that's a bit about the technical aspect of the internship. I want to talk also a bit about just the culture at EnduroSat. And I found, and I still find that EnduroSat has a very informal vibe. It's almost like a friends or a family that we experience here at EnduroSat. So conversations are very informal. You can really talk to anyone, and even now with 130 people, it still feels. It doesn't really feel like 130 people. It still feels relatively small, and that is something that I like a lot as well. And yeah, just I illustrated already that my colleague back then, during my internship, offered me accommodation. He offered me the the way of transport to get around Sofia. And I also noticed that it's a very young team at EnduroSat, which means that a lot of people have similar interests. People really tend to hang out after work. We had a garden. Now we actually, because we moved office, because we were getting too big, we have a sixth floor where which is called sort of the lounge area, where people have lunch there. People just relax with each other. And we also right now have a rooftop garden where people hang out. So especially in summer, it's amazing. People would be going to the city center together with events. They would, of course, also take the interns. I didn't really feel any exclusion from the other colleagues, which was super nice. We had the company also organized a Thursday breakfast, so they would be providing breakfast to the whole company. It was actually traditional and still is. They still do this. It was traditional Bulgarian breakfast, so it was my first experience with Bulgarian breakfast. And it's also a way to get to know your colleagues a bit better, and it's an informal way of getting together. They also took me to the nearby mountain here in Sofia for a hike with the whole company. And I was taken to various cities within Bulgaria because they wanted to show me Bulgaria itself. And I can say it's a very beautiful country. I must admit, definitely, because in the Netherlands everything is flat, and here we have a little bit more. It's a little bit more of a mountainous area, which always impresses me. And actually, that friendliness, together with the technical challenges that come with a space company, it made it very easy for me to stay after the internship. I still had to finish my master's, but I worked part-time. I continued developing on my internship project. I got some additional milestones to achieve after the internship. And when I finished my master's, it was also a very easy choice for me to move back permanently to Sofia. And when I came back, I started as an attitude control engineer. It has to do with the orientation of the satellite in orbit to make sure we point our solar panels, for instance, to the sun for recharging our batteries, or to point to Earth for taking images, or to point to anything that the mission requires. So this was my main responsibility. And over time, I got more and more responsibilities, and especially these responsibilities started to focus more and more on the whole satellite design. And now I'm actually a satellite system engineer for one of our satellites that is going to observe the Alpha Centauri star system. And for that, we needed some great pointing precision. So the orientation of the satellite has to be very exact in order to aim that camera to a star. And because of my background in the attitude dynamics that I did during my internship, I was offered this position. And actually that shows that the company is really willing to trust young engineers like me, especially because I'm not the only one in such a position at this age. I'm not an exception, really. So yeah, that's something what I do right now. So I oversee the whole architecture of the satellite, make sure the different components can talk to each other, and of course to make sure that the customer requirements are satisfied by our satellite design. And because I'm young and still inexperienced, I obviously make a lot of mistakes, but I also learn a lot from it every day. And actually, by making mistakes, you learn much more quickly. And this is also, I would say, almost stimulated by the company. They encourage you to do things. They like to throw you, let's say, in the deep, and you should try to manage to swim there. So there's a bit the company culture. So as long as in the end, because during R&D it's fine to make mistakes, and if in the end everything is fine, then the company is of course also happy. Yeah, of course, like every other company, we have setbacks, we have major challenges, but during those times, you can really see the true character of the company, in my opinion. Basically, everyone is willing to go the extra mile to have a successful delivery of the projects. It's not rare to see people during busy weeks to work an additional hour in the evening, or sometimes people come in the weekends to make sure we have a successful project. And that is something that is also really motivating to me. Back when I was an intern, it really impressed me. It really also aligned with me and my ambitions as a young engineer. So that's really cool to see here. And so yeah, we tend to work hard. Also, we like to play hard, so to say. So we really like to do activities together. Again, that aligns with the sort of family vibe that I get, the friends vibe that I get of the company. We have several, because we use Microsoft Teams, and you can make like a lot of groups to undertake different events. We have groups, for instance, to do hikes. We have a football group, so I'm part of both of them. But you can join any group that we have. But for instance, in terms of football, every week we went to pitch. We played football together. I must say it's not the highest level on the out there, but actually on the contrary. But we have a lot of fun, and occasionally we have some magical pass combinations like FC Barcelona in its prime. And very often people organize hikes in the weekends because it's very easy to get to the nearby mountain here. Sometimes people take some trips to the different mountain ranges in Bulgaria, and as I already told you, the Bulgarian landscape is amazing. So I'm always glad to join those trips. And this is usually organized by the people themselves, so the employees, but also the company arranges a lot of activities. So there are team building events. As I mentioned, we have these Thursday breakfasts. Puzzle nights are organized, chess tournaments. As of like last week, for instance, we had a coding challenge competition. So we're eating some pizza, we're coding together and solving different coding problems, which was also very fun. One of the things that I also enjoy a lot here at the company is that the company organizes Friday space meetups. And this is where colleagues give talks about a specific domain in the space sector, because we are all from different backgrounds. We have different skills. We have different disciplines that we're good at. So it's great always to hear from different people to give some sort of lectures almost about their domain. And this is also where we demonstrate newly developed technology in EnduroSat. It's where interns present their work performed to everyone. So in this case, at the end of your internship, you'll get the opportunity to present to everyone what you've done in the past months, and that is something to sort of show off your work. It's great that EnduroSat offers this. Another thing that I like a lot is that EnduroSat has a rich network in the space industry. So they invited sometimes key people over for a Q&A with us. So when these people, they can talk about stories, they can talk about failures that they had in their like 60-year career. And they talk a lot about their experience, and that's very helpful for us. We learn a lot, and also we can ask anything that we want. It's a very informal session, and as a young engineer, this is a great opportunity to talk to a lot of people. I also really like that EnduroSat invests a lot in educating their employees. They fund courses. So, for instance, I wanted to do several courses on the site called Coursera, and they were very willing to pay this for me. And another thing that proves how much they invest in education is the Space Challenges program. This is a summer program that has been going on for more than a decade now, where students from all over the world come together to work on challenging space problems. So they build rovers. They actually communicate with EnduroSat satellites in orbit as well, and that's something that's very cool. Of course, there are a lot of lectures during this Space Challenges program as well from again, these key people from the space industry. Another funny example is that they provided also Bulgarian lessons to me, just for me to get a little bit more familiar with the culture and language here. So yeah, this is all based on my experience, but what I'm trying to say is that EnduroSat is a very informal company. It's a company with, in my opinion, a very awesome atmosphere. People are very supportive. They were willing to go the extra mile for you. But also don't forget that EnduroSat, not everything comes easy, because innovations do not come without setbacks. Yeah, everyone is just motivated to overcome all these challenges and to become and stay the leading satellite manufacturer. So if you're looking for experience in the space sector and you feel aligned with EnduroSat's way of working, you can check our website in the careers section. We have several opportunities there. You can easily upload your CV. And we are always on the lookout for new interns in the different disciplines. So mechanical, hardware, software, whatever. Like I said, a satellite has almost all engineering disciplines. So if you're doubting to apply, just apply. We always want interns, especially talented ones. And apart from that, we also have, as I mentioned, the Space Challenges program every summer. I think we're opening applications for 2024 soon, so you can keep an eye on social media. And with that, I hope to have informed you enough about EnduroSat and hopefully also made you a bit excited about EnduroSat. So thanks a lot for your attention.